skies, diminishing winds, lows fall back to 53. And then Friday, sunshine remains in the forecast and highs reach 79. This is meteorologist Phil Jensko with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast.
Right now it's 65.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Good morning and welcome to the Art Lewis Show. My name is Matthew Felan. I'm the president and CEO over at the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, and I am serving as today's guest host for Art. It's a big seat to fill here this morning, but I'm honored that he asked me to take a few hours this morning to really talk about the Great Lakes Bay region, the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, and the many amazing things we have going on here in our region. Before we get started, I want to congratulate Art. He's not with us here this morning because last night he was inducted into the Michigan Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame up at Crystal Mountain, and a well-deserved honor for Art. So congratulations, my friend. I'm glad that you got that experience last night, and I hope you had a great night and you're traveling safe here this morning. But we're first going to get started here this morning with my good friend, board chair of the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, Peter Shaheen. Pete, you serve as VP at Shaheen Development and as president of Horizons Conference Center in Saginaw. Good morning. It's great to have you here.
Great to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we want to, start just by talking about that Great Lakes Bay region name and how regionalism kind of has had a rebirth here in our region over the course of the last 10 to 15 years. So before the alliance even started, Pete, you and a group of other leaders from throughout the region kind of came together and said, we need to start working together again across these county lines. How did that start? Where did that conversation come from again?
Well, I think the history even begins long before my time, but it revolves around the simple realization that we're much better and much stronger and a much more vibrant community together, working collaboratively, and sharing our strengths of each municipality, each township, each region. The alliance was formed with a vision that getting the right people in the room to talk about regional ideas, constructs, and foster a spirit of collaboration will help, raise the tide for all boats in the Great Lakes Bay region. And I believe it's been successful. It's been successful because we've got great community leaders, great business leaders, great nonprofit leaders, educational leaders, our economic development organizations, our chambers of commerce. They're all around the table talking about ideas and inspiring others to collaborate across county lines, across municipal lines. And that's when we can be our best. It's a competitive landscape across the state of Michigan. Our region, the Great Lakes Bay region, competes with Grand Rapids and Southeast Michigan and other areas across the state. When we can compete and win, it's when we act together as a region, highlighting the strengths of our great educational institutions, our great manufacturing powers, our quality of life in the region. It's a great place to live, work, play. We've been saying that for 20 plus years. But I think our region realizes that when we work together and collaborate, it really rings true.
Sure. And so, Pete, the region's had a long history of collaboration and success. If you go back to the early days, MBS Airport being formed and leaders from the three communities realizing we needed that transportation hub, or the formation of Delta College and Saginaw Valley State University, and quickly with Delta College, understanding that we had to have these assets here in place. What do you think are some of the reasons that we're coming together now to work collaboratively again when we look at those past achievements? What are the type of things you think we need to work on regionally together to really move us forward?
Well, again, it's spirit of collaboration. The Alliance is doing a great job. Our partners at the chambers and our EDCs are doing a great job. Our healthcare community is doing a great job working collaboratively. There's many bright spots across the region. We all know and we all want to live in a great quality of life. We want to have great places to go. We want our downtown areas and our urban landscapes to be vibrant. We want to have great opportunities for experiencing nature with river walks and trails and all of those things. So when we take a regional approach and when people stop looking at just the boundaries of their own community, whether it be the township or the city or the county level, when we break down those regional barriers, we can really realize our full potential. And I think that's what people realize. And there's great examples of successes across the region. Businesses are expanding in multiple areas of the region. Certainly you could live in Saginaw and work in Midland, or live in Bay City and work in Mount Pleasant. There's just so many attributes that make us stronger if we all collaborate together.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that maybe folks don't realize sometimes is when you bring the combined assets of the 4 counties together, Bay, Midland, Saginaw, and Isabella counties, that sometimes we may take for granted some of the assets we have. So I'll give you a great example is the power of higher education in this region. And you look at Central Michigan University, Saginaw Valley, Delta, Northwood, Davenport, Mid-Michigan College, the Tribal College. Folks oftentimes don't realize we have between 50 and 60,000 college students right here in the Great Lakes Bay region. Kind of given the talent struggles that are happening across the country, the need for workers, how important is that to the future success and prosperity of our region?
Oh, it's critical. We're blessed with fantastic educational organizations in our region. And what that translates to is opportunity. Our young people and others have phenomenal opportunities in the Great Lakes Bay region because of our educational institutions and because, frankly, the commitment of their boards and the leadership to make opportunities available for all the students in the Great Lakes Bay region and beyond. Opportunity exists everywhere in the Great Lakes Bay region, and if people can take one thing away from our comments and our discussion today, is that the Great Lakes Bay region is very ripe and ready for investment, business growth, and opportunities for all people. There's tremendous opportunities to be successful in the Great Lakes Bay region.
So one of the other sectors that we look at in any region to have that prosperity is healthcare. And we've seen some pretty dramatic changes to our healthcare landscape here over the course of the last 20 to 30 years. What at one time were maybe smaller municipal hospitals are now part of really large systems and have some really dynamic partnerships. So whether it's McLaren or My Michigan and their expansion, our hospitals here in Saginaw with Covenant and Ascension St. Mary's is a huge national player. What do you think healthcare means to the future prosperity of our region?
Well, first of all, it gives all the residents of the Great Lakes Bay region peace of mind that quality healthcare is available right in our own doorstep. We don't have to travel to Southeast Michigan or other areas to receive quality healthcare. We have that right here. We've got phenomenal physicians, phenomenal practices, a great healthcare environment ecosystem. So we're blessed for that. The other thing that we all recognize is healthcare as an economic engine for the region. And we're blessed again with great CEO leadership and great board leadership of these healthcare systems to recognize that and work to make our Great Lakes Bay region really a wonderful place to live and make it a great place for businesses to expand.
Yeah, if there's one thing that we've seen, it's that people travel for healthcare. And the more that they realize that maybe they don't have to travel out to the Metro Detroit area or out of state and may just be able to travel across the region, it sure gives peace of mind and makes things better for our residents. So with that, hey, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more here with Pete Shaheen on the Art Lewis Show.
Your career takes flight when you join the winning teams at Soaring Eagle and Saguenay Eagles Landing. The premier gaming and entertainment destinations in Michigan are currently hiring for a wide variety of positions for all levels of experience. Visit us online at SoaringEagleCasino.com for a full list of openings and learn about all the benefits and the new $15 an hour minimum wage. Apply today at Soaring Eagle Casino Resort and Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel.
Baseball, basketball, soccer, tennis. No matter what your game is, defense matters. Same thing goes for COVID-19. Help protect yourself with a booster shot, now recommended for people 5 years and older. Schedule an appointment as soon as you are eligible following completion of your primary series. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
How do you make the most of your land? Shaw does it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1025R compact tractor.
Shaw stands for skilled hands at work.
And he lives up to the name as he uses his versatile tractor to make
the earth take the shape that I wanted to take.
And the Allens fire up their John Deere 3032E compact tractor
to grow about 9 acres of flowers.
Because the beauty of having land is deciding how to make it yours. There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Wall Street rallying in the pre-market on a sign inflation may be cooling. The consumer price index for July eased slightly, but remains close to its highest annual rate in 4 decades, with an increase of 8.5% versus the expectation of 8.7% year over year. The core CPI, which excludes volatile food and energy prices, was up 0.3% versus 0.5%. The year over year increase 5.9%, lower than the 6.1% forecast. Much of the drop due to tumbling oil and gas prices. Chipotle has agreed to pay over $20 million to settle a workplace case in New York City, which contends the fast food chain violated scheduling and sick leave laws for more than 4 years, affecting 13,000 employees. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-328-9696. That's 800-328-9696.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
God, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending Ooma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Fly ball, left field, deep, got a chance. Gone! Jonathan Scope got that nothing ball, drilled it to left field for his 8th home run of the year.
The Tigers play 6:50 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Good morning. We're back here on the Art Lewis Show. This is Matt Felan serving as special guest this morning for Art, who's out this morning after his induction into the Broadcasting Hall of Fame here in Michigan. And I'm here with Pete Shaheen with Shaheen Development, VP, and also the president of Horizons Conference Center. So, Pete, let's chat for a second about Shaheen Development. You guys are Saginaw natives and a great history here in Saginaw and the Great Lakes Bay region. But over the course of the last, several decades, you have really put your money where your mouth is and invested regionally. Can you talk a little bit about some of those investments and why you look to invest all across the region and not just in your one county here in Saginaw?
Well, thanks, Matt. My brother and I, Dr. Sam Shaheen, were raised by our parents with an understanding and an expectation to make the situation that we find ourselves in, or make the community better. And another person who was a great influence, who coined a great phrase, who many listeners would remember, was Henry Marsh, who's since left us, but he coined a term, enlightened self-interest. And so between our upbringing, our commitment to the community, we grew up with an understanding that if we wanted to make the region you lived a better place, then the responsibility started with you. So my brother first started following in the footsteps of my father and mother, and my dad and mom have been very committed to the community, making a great career and great investments in the region. And my brother came home after his medical school experience and residency in Chicago with a passion for medicine, and also a passion to invest and improve the community. And so we've been really doing that. Our company has been in business for over 50 plus years, started by our parents. And now today we continue to make those investments simply to build a better community. Of course, we do it for building a great community, but we also do it, of course, to better our economic interests. But it's an enlightened self-interest, as Henry Marsh coined. And we really want to make our community strong, vibrant, and make it an attractive place for people to come back and live or raise their families here.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Pete, as an original Bay City native and someone who grew up in Bay City, the development at Uptown is really remarkable. And for those of us that lived there our entire lives, what was there before in that post-industrial kind of eyesore that had sat on the river, my entire childhood growing up, that's how downtown Bay City looked. And it's hard not to smile when you come across that bridge and you look to the left and you see downtown Bay City, the traditional downtown Bay City, which has really revitalized itself over the last 20 years as well. But then you look to the right and you see Uptown, and you see the constant construction, and whether it's restaurants or office buildings, it's like you've doubled the size of downtown Bay City. So it's I know I can speak for many there when we say, we really appreciate that regional approach, because it's had a transformative impact in Bay City, and a lot of your efforts have really done that in Midland and across the area altogether. So as someone who has worked as a developer here over the course of those years, what would you say to people out there that, may live in Bay County and want to invest in Midland, or live in Saginaw and want to look at Bay? What advice would you give them to say, look beyond maybe your comfort zone of your traditional county where you're from? There is money to be made. There are great opportunities in these other communities. What advice would you give them?
Well, I would just state exactly what you said. There's opportunity in the Great Lakes Bay region for investment. There's opportunity for businesses. There's opportunity for mom and pop entrepreneurs. It's a great place. We're blessed in this region with outstanding citizens. We've got people with great work ethics. We've got community citizens who are committed to making a better community. We've got a lot of wonderful things happening, and you're going to hear more about those later with some of the other segments that you have on today. But there's a lot of optimism, and our business, we see that opportunity. That's why, we're proud to have been a part in some of the great transformations along Washington Avenue and Saginaw. We're proud to be part of the transformation in Bay City with our investment in Uptown. What we've done in downtown Midland has brought vibrancy to the downtown main intersection with the H Residence and the Grazie restaurant development there. So the message is the Great Lakes Bay region, because of its citizens, because of the alliance, because of the leadership of our community leaders, is really a great place to invest and live. And that's my recommendation and advice to all the listeners and all the people who live in the region. Be proud of our region, and do what you can to be an outstanding supportive citizen of the region.
Well, Pete, it was great to have this opportunity to chat here today on the Art Lewis Show. It's remarkable what you, Sam, the legacy of your dad, the work of your mom. You guys are doing incredible work, and just thank you for being such a great regional champion and go out and have a great rest of the week.
Thank you.
Well, hey, everyone, we are going to transition here midway through to our next segment, and we are going to be joined by Phil Dembowski with Hemlock Semiconductor. Phil serves as the Senior Vice President and Chief Commercial Officer over at HSC. And folks, we are going to say HSC a lot because we're going to save ourselves a little bit of time by abbreviating. But Phil, thank you so much for joining me here this morning.
Yeah, great. I'm glad to be here, Matt.
Yeah, this is fantastic. So I got to tell you, Phil, everyone is familiar with Hemlock Semiconductor. It's definitely a name that's extraordinarily well known in the community. Everyone has family and friends that know someone that works there or someone directly. But sometimes I think, maybe folks don't fully understand what Hemlock Semiconductor produces. We hear it's the only producer of hyper pure polysilicon headquartered in the United States. Why don't we start there? What does that mean for everyone, Phil?
Yeah, sure. So polysilicon is it's really just a very simple material. It is hyper purified silicon metal that is used primarily in the semiconductor and solar industries. And so polysilicon is kind of the foundation of the entire electronics industry and of the entire solar energy industry. And so Hemlock is the only US headquartered company that makes polysilicon in the United States. And so it's kind of a unique material. The reason silicon is so important, and you hear about it a lot, is it's a semiconductor, which means that it can conduct electricity under very specific circumstances, which makes it absolutely critical for the electronics industry. And Hemlock is part of that entire supply chain. We've been making polysilicon in the region since 1961. That's a very long time. It's funny you say that a lot of people, everybody knows Hemlock. I think they do, but I think they sometimes don't know exactly what we do. It's funny because during the pandemic, we heard a lot about chip shortages and people are like, oh, Hemlock Semiconductor, they make chips, right? Well, we don't make chips. We make the material that the entire semiconductor and chip infrastructure is built on.
Yeah, no, you are spot on with that. Can you tell me a little bit? Just, I think people hear, the dynamic company that is Hemlock Semiconductor and its level of sophistication. How does it end up in Hemlock? Of all the places historically where companies go and different things can really find their home at, how did HSC become Hemlock? Well, why was that picked as the location?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we get it a lot, actually. And again, I mentioned Hemlock was founded in 1961. It came out of some technology that was being developed by Dow Corning. You may know Dow Corning used to be the wholly owner of Hemlock Semiconductor. Today, Hemlock is 80% owned by Corning Glass and 20% by Shinichi Hondatai, who is a semiconductor wafer producer. But back in the 1960s, the electronics industry, the transistor was starting to take off, and they needed a very pure source of silicon to make wafers for that, the brand new electronics industry. And so Dow Corning had some technology to make polysilicon. And one of the issues with making it in Midland, which is where the raw materials come from even today, out of the Dow Chemicals industrial park there. But one of the issues was making polysilicon was sensitive to vibrations. And so the way the process works is the reaction was very sensitive as you're growing the polysilicon to vibrations. And so there was issues in Midland with the rail situation. And because there was a fair amount of rail traffic, they couldn't build the plant right next to the facility in Midland. So they decided to move down into some farmland in Thomas Township in Saginaw County, which is about 20 miles south of Midland, to build the plant. And so originally it was to isolate it from vibration. Today, of course, we've solved the problem with vibration isolation. It doesn't need to be 20 miles away from Midland, but that's how we ended up locating to Hemlock, Michigan. And of course, that's our name as well, Hemlock Semiconductor.
Yeah, I will tell you, Phil, that is always one of those great sights. You're out there in Thomas Township and you're driving and you're leaving Saginaw and you think you're heading out to farmland and you look and there is one of the most sophisticated manufacturing facilities you'll find anywhere in the world right there. And it just sticks out so much. Like, wow, I can't believe that's right here in our community. It's really a phenomenal asset.
Yeah, it's incredible. I was just going to say that for those of your listeners who may have not seen Hemlock Semiconductor, I mean, it's on the corner of Geddes and Orr Road in Thomas Township. you should drive by sometime because it's quite a miraculous facility. You know, rising out of the farm country is really this giant process, which we like to refer to as the refinery of the 21st century. You know, it looks a lot like a petrochemical refinery with distillation columns and a lot of process equipment, but we're not refining oil and gas. We're refining silicon to hyper pure levels. So it's really the refinery of the 21st century. So if your listeners haven't seen it, take a drive out sometime by Geddes Road and Orr Road, and you can see the plant for yourself.
Well, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be back with Phil Dembowski here on the Art Lewis Show.
I'm the first nurse in my family. I started at Wellspring as a certified nursing assistant, and then I went on to nursing. And as I was in my nursing classes, Wellspring, they helped in any type of way, even with the nurses that were in the facility. They assisted with knowledge and passing things down that sometimes you don't learn in the classroom. It's been a great experience at Wellspring. I'm proud of being a nurse.
Join our team today. Visit wellspringlutheran.com.
Wills and trusts, wealth management, asset protection.
Does this sound important to you?
Succession planning for the family business, elder law, probate.
For most of us, we have better things to do with our lives. But when the time comes, personal or for a business, all of us will be glad we took just a few minutes to get our lives in order.
Reduce or eliminate estate, income, and gift taxes. Avoid probate costs and prevent will contests. Plan for the event of disability.
Who should you see? Who can you trust? Who has decades of experience in providing peace of mind for families and business owners?
My name is Jerry Reif. See me today and get your life in order.
Get some peace of mind. Check out Jerry Reif for yourself. Go to jerryreiflawyer.com. While you are there, subscribe to his free monthly e-newsletter and learn about elder law and estate planning. You can download helpful resources. Remember the website, jerryreiflawyer.com, or call Jerry Reif at 989-790-1461.
I provide legal solutions for a changing world.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's been a while since I gave myself a real chance to meet someone new.
Susan and John are two kindred spirits who rediscovered the romance they deserve on Silver Singles, the secure dating site for singles over 50.
John is a massive foodie like me. It's been amazing to experience some of my favorite things again with someone who makes my heart beat faster. I'm so glad I got back out there.
Sign up today at silversingles.com/love. That's silversingles.com/love.
The WSGW Invitational Golf Outing is Tuesday, August 16th at the Sawmill Golf Club. It's presented by Westside Decorating and powered by Branham's Jewelry. Over $5,000 in prizes to be given away. You can purchase your entry to play today. Only $60 per golfer. To sign up, visit WSGW.com. Scroll down the homepage and find the Winvitational Golf box. Click to find the entry link. The Winvitational Golf Outing at the Sawmill, Tuesday, August 16th. Sign up to play today at WSGW.com.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show,
I guess we'll try to make sense of it all. That is a very, very difficult job.
We will have fun.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW. You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
We are back here on the Art Lewis Show. This is not Art. This is Matt Felan, President and CEO of the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, filling in here for Art today. Our good friend Art was inducted into the Michigan Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame last night, so a huge congratulations to him on that well-deserved honor. I am here this morning chatting about various things across the Great Lakes Bay region. I am currently with Phil Dembowski with Hemlock Semiconductor. So, Phil, you have had an action-packed couple of weeks here. You know, I see yesterday President Biden signed the CHIPS Act. For those of us that don't know, that are listening, what exactly was the CHIPS Act? Why was the president referencing Hemlock Semiconductor in that bill signing. And tell us about the event you had last week where he was actually supposed to be in person, but came down with COVID for the second time. So you still hosted him virtually. A lot going on there. Would love to hear about the CHIPS Act.
Yeah, so for your listeners who don't know, I mean, the CHIPS and Science Act was signed into law yesterday by President Biden. It is a kind of a generational investment in the country's semiconductor infrastructure, right? So it's essentially the government has set aside money to help boost semiconductor manufacturing in the United States. For a long time, much of the new semiconductor production technology has been going overseas. They've been building more and more fabrication facilities in places like Southeast Asia, whether it's Singapore or Korea or Taiwan or China. So the CHIPS Act was passed in order to support the U.S. industry so that the U.S. can not just design the chips, but have the entire supply chain here in the United States. And so it provides some great support for companies. Hemlock, as I mentioned, is the start of the semiconductor supply chain. We make the critical foundational material polysilicon. And so you're right. It was interesting that the government, they chose to kick off the CHIPS Act last week. We had a wonderful event where Governor Whitmer visited, Congressman Kildee was there, Senator Stabenow and Peters joined virtually, as did the president. And it would have been great to have the president in person at Hemlock. It's funny, he was at Hemlock many years ago with Governor Granholm when Hemlock went through all of our big solar expansions. He was vice president at the time. So it would have been great to have him back, but it was certainly great to have him there virtually to kick off the CHIPS Act and recognize Hemlock's place in that semiconductor supply chain.
Yeah, Phil, that's just such a great honor for the Great Lakes Bay region. You look at legislation like that protects American industry to that level, really invests here in the industry for us, and to have that announcement made here in the Great Lakes Bay region at Hemlock really speaks volumes for how the company is doing and your importance here to the U.S. manufacturing sector in that industry. It's phenomenal. So you mentioned Congressman Kildee joined you as well. It certainly seems like, in your industry, legislation is vital in order to have the type of success you need and to be able to remain competitive, especially with these foreign markets that use various tactics to undercut what's happening. Can you talk to me a little bit about Congressman Kildee's legislation, the Solar Energy Manufacturing for America Act, and how that's really going to impact your industry moving forward?
Yeah, that's another, again, a key piece of legislation. That semiconductor, the legislation that Congressman Kildee was supporting was originally part of Build Back Better. Obviously, that was a very large package that didn't go very far, but some of the incentives for solar investment in the United States are part of the Inflation Reduction Act, which passed the Senate on Sunday last week. It will go through the House, and it's very much expected that the president will sign that into law probably next week or the week after that. And that whole program, that provides a lot of incentives for U.S. companies to invest in the solar supply chain here in the United States. Again, what's happened with some of these supply chains is they tended to move overseas. Hemlock is also the start of the solar supply chain, right? Polysilicon is the key ingredient that goes into solar panels. Unfortunately, we make polysilicon here, but the making of solar wafers and solar cells, there's really almost no production capacity in the United States. Most of that is done in China and Southeast Asia. So this new solar investment credits are being put into place so that companies will start to invest more in the solar supply chain here in the United States. Solar is the fastest growing form of new electricity in the US. And it's not just because it's clean and it's green. Those are all wonderful things, but it's also the least expensive form of new energy in many places in the world. And so it's great to see that the government recognizes that solar is our clean energy future, and we shouldn't leave that in the hands of other countries to produce. We should bring that manufacturing back to the US. Hemlock has been here for 60 years. We'd like to be here for another 60 more. And so things like the solar investment tax credits are really important to Hemlock as we try to build the supply chain here in the United States for solar.
Yeah, Phil, that's great news to hear that, we oftentimes get frustrated by politics, but in this case, it's great to see our region get some political wins here with some legislation that should really hopefully impact HSC and surrounding industries and help us grow. We're due here for another break here on the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back shortly with Phil Dembowski with Hemlock Semiconductor.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well thought out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
People in Michigan come from all walks of life, but they should all be able to walk safely. To make this happen, both drivers and pedestrians need to follow the rules of the road. Pedestrians should always cross at an intersection or crosswalk and stay alert to traffic. Drivers should always yield to pedestrians, and both should follow all posted signs and signals. Remember, it's everybody's road, everybody's rules. Sponsored by the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
In the wee hours of the night, when everyone else is fast asleep, you're the one on third shift, burning the midnight oil. When a part fails and everything comes to a grinding halt, regardless of what the clock on the wall says, you leap into action. Grainger is with you and all the ones who get it done. With 24/7 customer support by phone or click to chat. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSW online poll is the race for the governor of Michigan. The primary season now behind us. It's on to the general election in November. Michigan voters to face a number of statewide candidates, some issues. But at the top of the ballot, it is the choice for governor. Our poll question is simple for you. If you were to vote today, who would be your choice for governor of Michigan? Would it be incumbent Governor Gretchen Whitmer?
This isn't about partisanship. This is about where we're going to be as a state.
Would it be challenger Tudor Dixon?
Just need a governor with the plan, the vision, and the leadership to get us there.
We'll offer you up other in case you're not happy with either choice. We'll give you that option of other. You head to our poll at WSW.com. Scroll on the homepage. You'll find the online poll box, and you can make your vote.
John England's last one to defeat an incumbent, right? Jim Blanchard was.
I think so.
Right. That's 32 years ago. Wow. Well, that streak we broke in this time.
We'll find out.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 till 9 on WSGW.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. We are back here on the Art Lewis Show. This is Matt Felan, President and CEO of the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, serving as our guest host here today. And I'm with Phil Dembowski with Hemlock Semiconductor. So we've had a chance to learn quite a bit about, exactly what Hemlock Semiconductor does in terms of the manufacturing side. Can you maybe talk a little bit, Phil, about the community impact? How many employees do you have? And really, what does it mean financially here to the region by having Semiconductor here in Saginaw County?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, Hemlock is a big employer in the region. We have about 1,350 employees at our site. Earlier this year, we actually went through a transition where we hired, we used to have a contract workforce that did most of the polysilicon actually breaking and packaging. And we hired that workforce directly into Hemlock, partly because they perform a critical task. So the last people to touch the polysilicon, and purity is everything. And so we wanted that workforce to be part of the HSC team, part of our culture. So not only do they get better pay and better benefits, but they have more opportunities in the company. And so we wanted that workforce to be part of HSC. And so we brought all those contractors in. Hemlock, as I mentioned, is a big employer. You know, we are in the process of ramping up some of our capacity that was idled. We have a number of different growth projects that we're considering. And so we've been hiring a lot of people. And so, you know, if anybody's listening and you think you might be a good fit for HSC, go to hscpoly.com/careers and take a look at what we have. Obviously, we've been hiring a lot in the region.
Yeah, if there's one thing we hear about right now from all of our employers, it's definitely that talent pipeline. You know, for years you would hear about, you know, sewer lines and electric lines and the various pipelines that exist, literal pipelines. And today it is all about that talent pipeline. How are you finding you guys are having success in recruiting candidates for open jobs right now?
Yeah, it's tough. I think a lot of companies in the region, you know, sometimes struggle to recruit. Obviously, we've had to pay more a little bit in this market because there's competition for good talent. And Hemlock hires a wide variety, you know, from professionals, you know, a lot of engineers, a lot of, you know, accounting and finance and human resources. And then, of course, all of the people that actually run the plant, our operators, our skilled tradespeople. Again, sometimes difficult to find people in the skilled trades who are welders and pipe fitters and electricians. So it's important that we're growing all of the opportunities for these different kinds of positions. And yeah, it sometimes is tough to find good talent, but we've been successful and we have growth plans, and hopefully we'll continue to be successful to draw employees to Hemlock. It's really a great place to work. So.
Yeah, Phil, the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, we've had a tremendous focus on STEM education over the course of the last 8 years. And as part of talking about STEM education, we make sure that the focus just isn't on the very high level type of jobs you think in terms of engineers and chemists and those that you know may need robust education of 7 to 10 years. When we talk about STEM education and jobs in this region, we talk about skilled trades and the need for fabricators and welders, and how these are amazing careers that are going to have so many openings in the years ahead, and they pay well. So it's something that we think is resonating much more with parents and students, and we hope that a lot of our efforts are going to help alleviate some of your hiring concerns in the years ahead.
Yeah, we actually, you know, we recruit obviously a lot of people that are inclined to go into STEM type fields. You know, Hemlock is a big supporter of the STEM Center at the Hemlock public school system. We provide scholarships to juniors and seniors in high school to go to the Michigan Tech summer youth camps. Again, we like to reach out to employees or to students in the region so that they know about Hemlock. And again, it's both to give them a sampling of what do careers in STEM look like, but it also is that, you know, we want them when they graduate to consider Hemlock as a potential home. We don't want to lose that talent to other regions. So we like to work with the local students in the high school to let them know about Hemlock and about careers in STEM.
Yeah, absolutely. So one last subject I'd love to bring up here this morning, especially as we're talking about talent. Talent today and the workforce that we're looking at is really focused on varying issues. And one that's really come to the forefront is sustainability and looking at the circular economy. I know that Hemlock Semiconductor cares deeply about sustainability and that circular economy. Can you talk a little bit about how HSC is working to become the most sustainable company possible?
Yeah, sure. Of course, we're in the, you know, we provide the raw material for the solar industry, which is, you know, that's all about renewable energy and sustainability. But we've really focused in the last few years internally on what is our company doing to be more sustainable and more diverse. We are the largest consumer of electricity in the state of Michigan. right? So polysilicon is a very energy intensive process. And so because we're such a big user of electricity, we focus a lot on trying to be really, really efficient in all the electricity we use. We've also done a lot in just looking at our overall carbon footprint, the things we buy, the kinds of projects we do. We start looking at these things through the lens of not just the economic lens or how it's going to impact other things, but what does it do to our carbon footprint? And it's interesting because a lot of our customers who are in the solar and semiconductor space, they expect us to have year-on-year sustainability goals where we're constantly working to improve our carbon footprint, to reduce our waste. It's important to our customers. It's important to Hemlock, and it's important to our life here in the United States and our planet. We all should be doing a little bit more. Whether you believe in global warming or not, you certainly should be focusing on things that how can you personally be more sustainable. We've tried to implement that culture at HSC by helping employees find ways to contribute to that.
Yeah, it is something that we've seen here with various companies. Our next guest is going to be Michigan Sugar. And Michigan Sugar, when they talk about sustainability, they're always looking at how they can use every last part of the beet, how they can reduce the amount of chemicals that are put on their crops. It definitely seems, Phil, like this has become a regional issue that we're all really focused on. So, hey, we are running out of time here, and I just really want to thank you here for joining me in my first foray as a guest host on the Art Lewis Show. We are proud to have Hemlock Semiconductor here in the heart of the Great Lakes Bay region, and we hope the recent legislation allows for nothing but great prosperity for you and for our region. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. And you're doing a great job filling in for Art, and you're also doing a great job leading the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance. Again, all of these foundations and community foundations and economic development companies are important to our region, to helping us grow and make sure that we live in a place where we can attract people and they can have good and high quality paying jobs. So thanks for having me. I'm always happy to talk about Hemlock.
Time for a break here on the Art Lewis Show.
Hey there, folks. I'm Jeremy, co-owner of Daylight Outfitters. We are a full-service archery pro shop specializing in customer service. Compound, crossbow, and traditional, we can service it all. We feature brands like Bear Archery, Trophy Ridge, Cajun Bow Fishing, Raven Crossbows, Prime Archery, Latitude Tree Saddles, and Darton, just to name a few. We offer a 20-yard indoor video range and 6 lanes of axe throwing. Check us out on social media or daylightoutfitters.com to learn more.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. That's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ziprecruiter.com/radio.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Summer is here, the perfect time to save some money. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save at RocketGrabPlus.com? You can check out all of our deals going on right now from Tri-City Motor Speedway, One Up Games and Repairs, JB's Market in Munger, Norrie's of Auburn, Daylight Outfitters, and more. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
That wraps up this hour of the Art Lewis Show. Up in the next hour, we're going to hear from Rob Clark and Mark Fleggenheimer with Michigan Sugar and Erin Strang with CMU Research Corporation.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez in New York.
Stocks have taken off on the heels of a better-than-expected report on consumer prices this morning. The Dow is up 488 points after the CPI rose 8.5% in July. Economists expected it would be slightly higher. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Gas and energy prices, that pushes the numbers down pretty dramatically. And if we look at the gas index, for example, down 7.7% over the last month. Obviously, right? Since gas peaked in June, we're down $1 a gallon since then.
Former President Trump arrived at the New York Attorney General's office in Manhattan this morning.
How do you feel, Mr. Trump? How do you feel?
He gave a repeated thumbs up before entering to be questioned under oath in a civil investigation into his business dealings. Correspondent Major Garrett.
There has been long-running suspicion that the Trump Organization books, when you look at them closely for the tax breaks and loans obtained, don't add up. Misrepresentations were made in order to get more favorable treatment, whether it's from tax breaks or loans. That would be fraud. And that's what this investigation is about.
It got testy when the Uvalde City Council held a public hearing on police accountability after the mass shooting at Robb Elementary School in May. One man suggested recalling Mayor Don McLaughlin.
One thing I'm tired of is people like you coming from outside.
A child who attends Robb Elementary burst into tears. 2 Muslim men are suing Alaska Airlines for discrimination after they were kicked off a flight when a passenger complained they were speaking and texting in Arabic. One explains,
"Make me feel like I was not equal to the other people. I don't want this to happen again."
3 Maverick pros have lost out on a bid to get back into the PGA. CBS's Steve Futterman.
A federal judge ruled against the golfers who are part of the Saudi-backed Live Golf Tour. The 3 wanted the judge to issue a temporary restraining order, allowing them to also take part in the PGA's upcoming postseason competition. The golfers, Taylor Gooch, Matt Jones, and Hudson Swafford, argued they are free agents and should be allowed to compete where they want to.
Get out the Mrs. Dash or the Herbamare. New study shows switching from salt can save lives. CBS's Vicki Barker at the foreign desk.
The Chinese researchers found salt substitutes, which replace some of the sodium chloride with potassium chloride, reduce blood pressure in all the participants studied, regardless of their age, sex, weight, and medical history. And that suggests the substitutes should significantly reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke.
The Dow now up 525. This is CBS News.
Hire with minimal effort and max speed with Indeed. Their hiring solution platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates efficiently. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Catch your fortune at Saginaw Eagles Landing. Fishing for a Fortune is your chance to win up to $100,000 every Friday and Saturday in August, with hourly drawings from 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. So come reel in good times and serious winnings. It's Fishing for a Fortune, only at Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit Saginaw-EaglesLanding.com for complete rules and details.
And now, bedtime. If sleep apnea and CPAP struggles are ruining your sleep, Inspire may work for you. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to help you sleep peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Learn more at inspiresleep.com.
Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
In the wee hours of the night, when everyone else is fast asleep, you're the one on third shift, burning the midnight oil. When a part fails and everything comes to a grinding halt, regardless of what the clock on the wall says, you leap into action. Grainger is with you and all the ones who get it done. With 24/7 customer support by phone or click to chat. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us, on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, This is WSGW News.
Mostly sunny skies and 68 degrees at 10:05. I'm Mike Percha. Saginaw Valley State University has named its next president. Here's WSGW's Jonathan Dentz with this report.
At a meeting on Tuesday morning, SVSU's Board of Control appointed George Grant Jr. as the university's fifth president, succeeding Donald Bachand. Grant begins his duties on December 1st and says that he will spend his first days as president gaining a better understanding of SVSU.
Of course, the initial plan is a lot of listening. What are the programs? What are the problems? What are the obstacles? What are the challenges? What are the initiatives that we're working on? Also working and meeting with the community. We want to make sure that I have a good understanding of how people see the campus and see how the campus is positioned.
Grant holds bachelor's and master's degrees in social work as well as a PhD in sociology and currently serves as chancellor of Pennsylvania State University Berks. Jonathan Dent, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
A man convicted of possessing child pornography in 2014 was once again sentenced for a similar crime, this time in federal court. 34-year-old Justin Zub of Bay City will spend the next 15 years in prison following his April conviction in U.S. District Court Eastern Michigan District for possessing child sexually abusive material of children under the age of 12. Police raided Zub's home in February 2020, where they found multiple devices with more than 300 images and videos of child pornography. His sentencing was August 4th. Riders on Saginaw's STARS bus system will have a little more time before fares are required once again. After eliminating fares during the pandemic, STARS was planning to reinstate them on September 1st at a reduced rate. But Executive Director Glenn Steffens says they've encountered some challenges and will now postpone plans to restart fares until October 1st. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well-thought-out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Macomb County Sheriff's deputies say the weather and alcohol are to blame for a drowning in Anchor Bay as drivers find the body of a 37-year-old man. Divers recovered the body of Essa Koja of Macomb Township shortly after 2 p.m. Koja had been out boating Sunday night with 17 friends when he went for a swim. The boat was not anchored tightly and began drifting away. Koja began calling for help. Sergeant Renee Yaks at the Sheriff's Department says several people jumped in to try to save Koja, but couldn't stop him from going under the waves. No one was wearing a life jacket. Governor Gretchen Whitmer posted an update on social media about her COVID diagnosis. She says she's grateful she's vaccinated and boosted because her symptoms are mild.
Hi, everybody. Working from home, a little congested. My dogs keep coming to check on me through the windows with my husband. But just working through the day, a little more casual than usual, but keeping up the schedule and just wanted to check in.
Whitmer tested positive for the virus on Monday. Mott Community College President Dr. Beverly Walker-Gaffia has been elected chair of the board of directors for the Michigan Community College Association. Walker-Gaffia has served on the MCCA board for 6 years, most recently as vice chair. In this role, she'll serve alongside the president of the MCCA. Her election as board chair was made during the organization's summer conference in Traverse City. The organization also welcomed 2 new member institutions, the Saginaw Chippewa Tribal College and Bay Mills Community College. They're the first tribal college members of the Michigan Community College Association. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for today with a high into the mid-80s. Winds out of the west around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for tonight, partly cloudy sky conditions with low near 62. Thursday, sunshine, high of 79 degrees. Then on Friday, plenty of blue skies and sun with a high around 79. Saturday, mostly sunny sky conditions. We'll see high around 82. Then on Sunday, we'll have a chance for rain showers. Partial sunshine develops, high of 77 degrees. Monday, partial sunshine, high around 80. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast.
Currently, it's 71.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second hour of the Art Lewis Show. My name is Matt Felan. I'm the president and CEO of the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, and I have the honor of filling in for Art this morning as his guest host. I can assure you his seat is safe when he returns. But it's an honor to be here and happy to be able to talk about the Great Lakes Bay region this morning. Art is unable to be here today because last night he was inducted into the Michigan Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame. What a great honor for our great friend Art. Art, congratulations. So well deserved. Hope you had a great night and that you're not listening to the show and enjoying the morning off. But I have had the privilege of really talking about the Great Lakes Bay region and a lot of the entities that make our region so great. And next up, we have Michigan Sugar here with us this morning. We have Mark Fleggenheimer, the president and CEO of Michigan Sugar, as long as Rob Clark, the Director of Communications and Community Relations. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Matt. Thanks for having us, Matt.
Absolutely. So I grew up in the south end of Bay City. I grew up one block from St. Stan's Church off Kosciuszko, 22nd, Young's Ditch, whichever one you prefer. But I went to that grade school for 9 years from kindergarten through 8th grade. And one of our great warnings always growing up was, don't stand too close to the street during sugar beet season. The trucks are going to be coming through and beets are going to be falling. So thought it was great to have you guys on as we're getting close to sugar beet truck season, as so many here know it. I would love to just kind of start with, can you tell me about the current structure of Michigan Sugar? You know, a proud history, a company that I believe started in 1906. There was a giant maneuver in 2002 for the growers to form a cooperative and really save the company, and then a merger in 2004. Can you tell us about the structure today and how Michigan Sugar is set up?
Sure, absolutely. Happy to do it. Thanks for having us. So as you said, in 2002, the growers banded together, raised equity, and really saved the company. We were owned by a company down in Texas that was over leveraged. They filed for bankruptcy. And I approached them and said, why don't you spin Michigan Sugar off to the growers, raise some money to work out your bankruptcy issue. It was a great way for Michigan to get out of that bankruptcy situation, which is no fun. And the growers saw the value of the crop, had the vision that, beets have paid for a lot of farms out in the thumb of Michigan and the Saginaw Valley. And they didn't want to lose the industry. There were some real visionary leaders back then. They raised the money, made the deal, and 2 short years after that, Monitor Sugar was on the market, and it was an opportunity to really find some synergies, put the two companies that had been fierce competitors for 100 years together and form the company we have today. So today we've got 750 grower owners in 21 counties and in Ontario, Canada, that own Michigan Sugar.
Yeah, it really is quite an amazing story because this is an industry, when you think about where your plants are and where beets are grown, that you are, we're talking regional today. You're a statewide player. You're a global player going into Ontario. You have such reach. Can you talk about some of the locations of your facilities currently?
Absolutely. We like to say that Michigan Sugar is really proud to be a centerpiece of so many communities across the Saginaw Valley and Michigan's thumb. Of course, we have 4 sugar beet processing facilities. Our largest is here in Bay City. We also have plants in Caro, Croswell, and Seaboing. So we have facilities in Bay County, Huron County, Sanilac County, Tuscola County. And in most cases, we are one of the top 3 employers in those counties. We actually pay about $65 million in annual wages. So you take those kind of numbers, especially in a community like Seaboing. I mean, there's 1,000 people that live in Seaboing. We are by far the largest employer. We're really the lifeblood of that community, and we're proud of that. And we also feel very honored that we get the opportunity to be that piece in a town like that. And in addition to those 4 facilities, we have a packaging and warehouse facility in Carlton here in Saginaw County. We have a warehouse over in Bridgeport now, also in Saginaw County. We have facilities in Ohio, some packaging and warehouse facilities down there in Findlay and Fremont. We have a terminal in Toledo. And of course, as Mark said, growers in 21 counties in Ontario, Canada. So our footprint is relatively large. If as we're talking about the Great Lakes Bay region today, we're certainly an important player in the region, but beyond the region as well.
Absolutely. And so late last year, you guys made a pretty significant announcement. I was chatting earlier when we were talking about sustainability with Hemlock Semiconductor about how you guys do an amazing job taking every milligram of sugar possible out of each beet that you grow. And you have new plans in the works to, if I have the understanding right, I'm sure you'll correct me, but one of the processes of making sugar is molasses is a byproduct. And you're building a plant in Bay City adjacent to the current facility that's a desugarization plant that will take sugar out of that molasses process. Can you tell me about that announcement and kind of where that investment is right now?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very exciting. As you said, when you process sugar beets, you make molasses, and molasses takes sugar with it. And the value of the sugar that's in there versus the value that we get for molasses is $200 for molasses a ton, sugar $800 per ton. So we want to get that sugar out. And the technology's been there for a couple of decades. Monitor Sugar had a facility, kind of the first generation technology, and it was only sized to handle about 60% of our molasses when we merged the companies together. So the opportunity was there to build a state-of-the-art facility, $75 million to process 100% of the molasses. It'll increase returns to our shareholders by about $15 million per year. And we're underway. Ground has been broken. If you want to follow the progress, go to our Facebook page. Rob does a great job posting photos on it, and you can see it coming out of the ground. And we will be running that in the fall of 23 is the schedule for it to be completed. And it's well underway. The foundations are in, and we're going to start changing the skyline over in Bay City here pretty soon. And Matt, as you talk about sustainability, one of the great pieces of this project is that it will allow us to extract an additional 80 million pounds of sugar every year from the molasses, and we don't have to plant another acre of sugar beets to do it. So Mark mentioned the return to our grower owners is certainly significant, but from a sustainability standpoint, if you can make 80 million more pounds of sugar and you don't have to take another harvester over a field or spray another field or grow another acre of sugar beets to do it, that is what sustainability is all about. We're really proud of that.
Yeah, and I think you raise a great point because you're talking about less trucks that are on the road that have to go to produce more sugar. But I think at the end of the day, sustainability is successful when it can meet profitability. And I think in this case, you guys are doing a tremendous job because you are becoming a more sustainable company, but you're also doing so in a way where, hey, we're going to make some more money because getting that sugar out and being able to sell sugar versus molasses makes a lot more sense, and it's amazing for your grower. So
yeah, for sure.
We are going to take a quick break here on the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back shortly with Mark Fleggenheimer and Rob Clark with Michigan Sugar.
Designed for any room and any climate. Hi, this is Marianne from Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth. Solidtech luxury vinyl flooring from Mohawk offers unmatched durability with a range of stylish hardwood and tile visuals in multiple sizes and widths for maximum design flexibility. 100% waterproof, stain, and scratch resistant, your kids and pets are no match for Solidtech. Come in and let our design team help you select the floor that you have always wanted. Warden Interiors on North Main Street in Frankenmuth will help you bring it all together.
Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 and 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Wall Street rallying in the pre-market on a sign inflation may be cooling. The consumer price index for July eased slightly, but remains close to its highest annual rate in 4 decades, with an increase of 8.5% versus the expectation of 8.7% year over year. The core CPI, which excludes volatile food and energy prices, was up 0.3% versus 0.5%. The year over year increase, 5.9%, lower than the 6.1% forecast. Much of the drop due to tumbling oil and gas prices. Chipotle has agreed to pay over $20 million to settle a workplace case in New York City, which contends the fast food chain violated scheduling and sick leave laws for more than 4 years, affecting 13,000 employees. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-328-9696. That's 800-328-9696.
For a beautiful look that protects and stays clean, choose Dutch Boy Paint from Menards, now all 11% off. Get quality products with smart technology like mildew-resistant coating, stain shield, and dirt-resistant paint and primer in the award-winning Dutch Boy Twist and Pour containers. Get 11% off everything, including the full line of Dutch Boy paints, now at Menards. Good through August 14th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
Fly ball, left field, deep, got a chance, gone! Jonathan Scope got that nothing ball, drilled it to left field for his 8th home run of the year.
The Tigers play 6:50 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show here on Wednesday morning. This is Matt Felan filling in as a guest host here for Art this morning, and I'm joined by Mark Fleggenheimer and Rob Clark from Michigan Sugar. So, gentlemen, there is nowhere that I go in this region that we don't talk about one main issue that seems to be at the top of everyone's mind, which is talent and getting a productive workforce and people that want to work into their facilities. Years ago, I was talking to Hemlock Semiconductor. We would hear about energy lines and literal pipelines and oil lines. And today, all anyone wants to talk about is that talent pipeline. Tell me about jobs at Michigan Sugar right now. Are you in a state of flux? Are you hiring? Are you looking? And how are you really finding talent here in the region and beyond, for that matter?
Yeah, thanks for that question, Matt. Yes, we are hiring. And I'll start by just saying that Michigan Sugar Company has about 980 what we call year-round employees. These would be people who work 12 months of the year. And then we have seasonal jobs, about 1,100 seasonal workers. And so we are, as August rolls around, we're in the heart of our hiring time. Mark's going to talk in a minute about, the upcoming harvest. But within the next month, our factories are going to be fired up again. We're going to begin slicing sugar beets. And so this is the prime time of year when we're attracting talent. I would start by saying that we have an incredibly talented, dedicated workforce at Michigan Sugar Company. Any location you go to, our employees are amazing. We rely on them to get our crop through every year, get it sliced, get the sugar extracted and packed and sent out. They do an amazing job for us. We are always looking for more employees. And so right now, we have two different ways that you can kind of connect with us to find jobs. One is our seasonal employees can go to michiganbeetharvest.com and they can find information about seasonal jobs. And this would be people who work at the piling grounds to receive beets once our growers start pulling them out of the ground here in the next month. And then on the Michigan Sugar side, the year-round employment, if people go to michigansugar.com and click on our careers tab, they can see all of our current job openings. And I wanted to mention, because, we have connections to the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance. I like to tell people that Michigan Sugar jobs are STEM jobs. And the Alliance has been obviously a champion of STEM over the past decade, and it's something that the Alliance is very good at. Michigan Sugar jobs are STEM jobs. I was just looking this morning. I mean, from the skilled trades, electricians, welders, chemists, all kinds of people that we need to come work in our facilities. So I'd encourage people to check that out at michigansugar.com careers and see the jobs we have available.
I think when we talk about the importance of regionalism, when we talk about workforce, that means even more, especially because the community we live in is a little bit different than other communities. We talk about, getting to work in terms of minutes and not miles, right? A drive that could be 30 minutes here could well be 35 miles away, or depending on how heavy that foot is, could be 40 miles away, right? Where in other communities, it can take an hour for people to get 2 or 3 miles. So do you find that the size of the region and beyond, that you're really able to pull workforce from a variety of places, and you honestly wouldn't be able to do it without a regional workforce, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've actually done some things transportation wise. We've looked at, how could we get workers from Saginaw County, for example, to Tuscola County or Huron County to work at a facility there. So we've done some troubleshooting, I guess you could say, trying to find some regional partners in terms of transportation. Could we get people on a bus in the morning in Saginaw, get them to Seaboing in the early morning and back to Saginaw in the afternoon? From a seasonal perspective, we work with the RV industry. There's a group of people called work campers. They're people who kind of travel the country in RVs, and they come for seasonal jobs, and they work the job, and then they move on to the next community in their RVs. I think we have several hundred of those people coming this year to work our beet harvest. So yeah, we've gotten creative with how we recruit people, but certainly we have a great workforce locally, and by locally I mean the region, the thumb, throughout Michigan, and we do everything we can to tap that talent.
That's outstanding.
And the other thing I would add, Matt, is you come to work for Michigan Sugar and you want to get a skilled certificate, or you want to continue your education, we're going to pay for it 100%. We've got great partnerships with Delta College, SVSU, CMU. We've got people going back to get their masters. We've got people that are in apprenticeship programs, becoming electricians, certified welders and whatnot. So if people want to advance their career themselves and they join Michigan Sugar, we're going to pay for it for them.
Yeah, you've heard it here, folks. There are jobs. Go to Michigan Sugar, go to Hemlock Semiconductor. Everyone is hiring. So if you're looking, please get out there. So why don't we end on the subject of maybe a little bit of the weather. And, it was a pretty hot and dry June and a good chunk of July. And, I would go on Facebook and see farm friends that were praying for rain and begging for rain. And thankfully, over the course of the last 3 to 4 weeks, it seems like we've gotten a couple good heavy rains each week. How does, that's the question I think that's on everyone's mind. How does the current sugar beet crop look? How important is that rain? What do we need to hope and pray for in the weeks ahead? How do things look?
Yeah, so the crop certainly is weather dependent. We've got a very healthy crop out there. Those rains that we got sucked up pretty quickly. So we could use a little more moisture right now to finish this crop off. I mean, the crop is really made August and September. We're going to be taking samples here this week and seeing where we are and trying to figure out when we'll start. But I would say it's going to be September 1st, plus or minus 5 days. Weather from here on out will make the final numbers. But we like what the crop looks like. It's healthy. The growers have taken great care of it. And hopefully Mother Nature will give us the right amount of sunshine, right amount of moisture to get the yield, and more importantly, the sugar content. Really, that's what generates the revenue, is the sugar in the beet, not the size of the beet, but how sweet it is. And that's going to be sunny days and cool nights in October that will determine that, and rainfall. But we like where the crop is right now, and hopefully we get treated nicely by Mother Nature here over the next couple months.
Yeah, and I'm sure no one wants to hear this, but there's kind of another segment of weather. Then at some point you like cold and to almost a certain extent very cold. Can you talk about the importance of kind of the cold climate in the winter to how that impacts the campaign as it moves along?
Yeah, absolutely. So we store 75% of our crop in the big piles that people have seen, whether it's on M13 or M46 or at the factory. And the sugar beet is a vegetable. And I always tell people, if you put a vegetable on your counter or put it in the refrigerator, where's it going to last longer? It's always in the refrigerator. And we don't want it to be too cold. We don't want to put it in the freezer. We want it in the refrigerator. And we want that refrigerator to run nice and consistent until about early March. So we do rely on that cold temperature to store the beets. We've invested a lot of money to assist that between buildings to protect it, and ventilation fans to blow the cool air throughout the pile to aid in that storage. But absolutely, it's one of the things we're blessed with here is adequate rainfall so we don't have to irrigate the beets, and cool temperatures so we can store the beets.
Well, we will all be rooting for weather that hopefully creates the best crop and slicing season possible. Thank you both so much for joining me here today. Our listeners love hearing about Michigan sugar agriculture and kind of where things are at. You guys are doing a great job, and we hope for a great fall harvest season. And so with that, we're going to take a break here on the Art Lewis Show.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well-thought-out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. The firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
How do you make the most of your land? If you ask the Wrens, who run with us on a John Deere mower, they tell you,
I mow first, then I do all the trimming.
But the Hubbards, who work behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor, would say,
if it's something you want, just go after it and try it.
Then there's the Mosers, who may mention from the seat of their John Deere Gator UTV,
You can't be all work and not play.
there are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Hand me that nail gun.
Here you go. And here's the fries.
Lunch. Who's hungry?
You know, maybe instead of loading up a nail gun with French fries to feed the crew, we should just order lunch through Easy Cater. Food from all our favorite restaurants.
My bad.
On time and as ordered.
Delicious. Huh. Load up the hot dogs while I think about it.
Some food just doesn't work at work, but Easy Cater just does. Food for work on time and as ordered from over 85,000 restaurants. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
WSGW invites you to Friday Night Live. On August 12th, WSGW and Ascension St. Mary's are your sponsors for Riverfront Blues Fest featuring Larry McRae and Cherie Williams. Friday Night Live is free, 5:30 till 9 in Morley Plaza, downtown Saginaw. Also sponsored by Team One Credit Union, Michigan Arts and Culture Council, WNEM TV5, and Positive Results Downtown Saginaw. Find information online, WSGW.com.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show,
I guess we'll try to make sense of it all. That is a very, very difficult job.
we will have fun.
Markley Van Camp and Robbins, weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW. Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. This is Matt Felan, President and CEO of the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, with the privilege of serving as a guest host here on today's show. I want to give a big congratulations to my friend Art. Art was inducted into the Michigan Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame last night at Crystal Mountain, and he's traveling here today. What a well-deserved honor after his continuing amazing career on radio. I'm so happy for him and such a great distinction. So I'm spending the morning here talking about the Great Lakes Bay region and have had a variety of guests that work regionally. And we're going to end with one of the most regional organizations that I am proud to be a part of, which is the Central Michigan University Research Corporation. And we're joined by their president and CEO, Erin Strang. Good morning, Erin.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So why don't we start here? We're going to start at the most basic level. I think people see the CMURC logos now. They've really kind of come across the region aggressively over the course of the last 5 years. I think a lot of people don't quite know, what is CMU Research Corporation? What kind of work do you do?
That's a great question. You're absolutely right. We are Central Michigan University Research Corporation, but we're actually a separate small business. So we're a separate nonprofit from the university, and we are here to serve the region, help entrepreneurs, and grow businesses.
Oh, that's fantastic. So can you talk maybe a little bit about some of the type of programs that you offer within your various CMURC facilities? I know you work quite a bit in the entrepreneurship space and helping businesses get started and up and running. Can you talk about some of the programmatic efforts of CMURC?
Yeah, we have been really, as you mentioned, we might have come across the region pretty aggressively here, but we are nearly 20 years old. So we're actually celebrating our 20 years this year. So excited to have that happen. We have been primarily in the Mount Pleasant area, but really felt like it was important to come across the region to provide those programs and services that we offer. And we offer those through a variety of different ways. We're considered one of the state's, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation Smart Zones. And so we facilitate a lot of the Smart Zone programs that come through the state, and we have our own kind of spin on them for our own local region.
Yeah. So we're talking about your regional impact, and I give you guys all the credit in the world. You have really embraced regionalism as much as anyone here throughout the 4 counties. So today you currently have your initial Mount Pleasant facility, as well as facilities in the first one I believe you opened was in Bay City, followed by Saginaw, and then in Midland. Bay City, you're in Uptown. Saginaw, you're in the SVRC facility, and you're off Joe Mann Boulevard with McLaren in Midland. Can you talk about, how you open those facilities? How did you decide, what?
Why?
We're going to come in with 3 facilities.
Right.
And, how are each of those set up?
Yeah, we question ourselves sometimes too here, but the reality is that people are working differently. People are in and out, and especially now over the last couple of years, people are really working differently. So we saw the trend of people working across the region, talent working across the region, and the benefits that had holistically for us. So we made the determination to move into branch out into regional facilities back in 2017. And we really were excited that we did that. And we've been really excited to see what connections have been made across we call it the CMURC community, but across our community within those different areas. So it's definitely opened up business opportunities for the people that we're working with, as it all comes down to relationships and people.
Yeah, and I will give you guys credit. You've really done a great job trying to capture the local flavor or the local flair in each of your facilities. Can you talk about, how you named your rooms in the Bay City facility, murals that went up? How did you, as an entity that hadn't been historically in Bay City, how did you then create an environment that really feels like the fabric of the community, as an example?
Yeah, the reality is even though we are regional, each community has their own specialness to it, right? And so it was really important to us as we were going into each community to reach out to the community. We had contests on naming spaces. We did a lot of history, took a lot of details into who's been there before, what businesses have been there before. If you think of every business, it had to start with a person, an entrepreneur, right? And people forget that sometimes as they see these larger companies or companies that have grown to be large sizes. They all started with the individual entrepreneur that had that dream and that passion to move it forward. So we really thought it was important to reach into that history and really, do a nod to each community individually and really highlight all the great things happening in each individual space.
Yeah, I know when we're in the Bay City facility, as an example, people love to go look at the Madonna mural that I believe Elena painted, and just it's got that great flair of, Bay City it works so hard to remind everyone, hey, we're the home of Madonna. And I thought it was awesome that an organization that was coming in from Mount Pleasant was able to capture that so quickly and include that when the rest of the community has often been trying to figure out how to adopt a little bit more of Madonna's Bay City as the hometown. You guys jumped on that right away. So I give you all the credit in the world for making that comfortable. So can you tell me, so if I'm a company, let's say that I'm a small accounting firm and I want to work with CMURC, what are some of the benefits of, the co-work space or joining the CMURC programs? How do I benefit as a growing business or maybe a new business in the region trying to establish itself?
Well, the cool thing about our spaces is that they're kind of open to everyone. And so whether you are an entrepreneur, a service provider like an accountant trying to get new business, or whatever you are doing, by coming into our facility and joining in person that community, you really start to organically meet different people, and you grab a cup of coffee, you start talking to the person next to you. So it's amazing how much business gets done and how many different interactions and connections are made just by physically being in the space. And I know that's kind of goofy to say now that we're back, we're all back to work, or hopefully all back in the workplace. But the relationships, not only do they happen very naturally and organically, but they also last a long time. So as you're seeing, it's like your coworkers. You go in every day and those are your people. So
yeah, I always enjoy whatever facility I walk into. You see a face that you can't walk into Saginaw without getting, Bob Johnson right there with M Live immediately when you walk in, and you always know you're going to get into a fascinating conversation, or you see Jeff Collier our superintendent of the Saginaw ISD. It's just great to see so many great leaders in our community utilizing those facilities and having that chance to collaborate and work together. So we are going to take a quick break here on the Art Lewis Show. We will be back shortly.
Moments like watching my grandson steal second mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
At the United States Postal Service, we deliver with advanced technology and equipment so we can reach over 160 million addresses across the country. We're delivering for thinkers, doers, movers, shakers, groundbreakers, future makers, innovators, trailblazers, disruptors, streamers, dreamers. So no matter what business you're in, we'll always be delivering for you. USPS, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/delivering.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
For the 15th consecutive season, your home for Michigan Wolverines football is WSGW.
Donovan Edwards throwing deep down the sideline. He's got a receiver wide open. The trick play. It's a house call for Michigan.
The defending Big Ten champions are ready to prove that last year was only the beginning of a new era of championship caliber football in Ann Arbor.
Andrell Anthony, East Lansing native. Touchdown, Michigan. He's heading down the sideline. Did he get in the end zone? Touchdown, Michigan. Eric Hall on a crossing route. Back to McNamara. Throwing deep. He's got Johnson in the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan.
The season kicks off against the Colorado State Rams at the Big House, Saturday, September 3rd. Game day coverage at 11 a.m. with kickoff at noon on 790 News Radio WSGW. The history, the tradition, the memories.
Wolverine Nation, Ohio State is vanquished.
Michigan football is on WSGW.
Good morning and welcome to our final segment here on the Art Lewis Show. My name is Matt Felan and have the pleasure of being our guest host today, and we're talking about regionalism in the Great Lakes Bay region. Erin, as we talk about regionalism, there's a long history of Bay, Saginaw, and Midland counties working together. For years, we were known as the Tri-Cities. We had Tri-City Airport until the name had to change because there was another Tri-City Airport down in Tennessee, and it was confusing aviation, so they changed it to MBS. And when we kind of rebranded with the new era of regionalism, they went with the Great Lakes Bay region moniker. And one of the things that was brilliant about it was when you say Great Lakes Bay region, very different than Tri-Cities. Tri-Cities was 3 cities. So maybe if you were in Freeland or Frankenmuth or Linwood or Coleman, you were saying, hey, I don't really feel like I'm a part of this. But the Great Lakes Bay region name doesn't put strict borders on what the region means. And after the alliance was formed and the board got going, they brought Isabella County into the fold and asked Isabella County to become a formal partner with the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance. And today, the region is those 4 counties. You are one of our Isabella County board members, and
I'd like to claim I was the first.
You were the first, and are back again. Can you talk about what regionalism has meant for Isabella County and why it's so important that Isabella County is part of the regional initiative?
I just think when you look at all of the counties in the region, and you named 4, and then I know we've talked about an expanded and beyond group of counties that really that we consider the Great Lakes Bay region, or that adopt kind of the marketing and branding behind it. Mentioned a little bit earlier that business moves between these communities, and everybody, when Isabella County kind of got brought on, in addition to the tri-counties, when Isabella County was included, I think it was a slow go. People had different feelings about it. But I always tell people you have to take it where it makes sense and leave it where it doesn't. And really, we're better together. There's different opportunities throughout. And by combining our region as one, we've got greater opportunities here. And we have the ability to compete statewide and nationally for different opportunities.
Yeah, it's definitely evident with some of the examples like the CMU Medical School, your facilities at CMURC, or a big one that we haven't talked about, today, but we will in the future, is we're 4 counties and a tribal nation, and the Saginaw Chippewa Indian tribe, and they're, right between Mount Pleasant and Aranac, and those 2 tribal lands is the heart of the Great Lakes Bay region, and they're an active participant and partner in a lot of our regional initiatives. So I can tell you from my seat, it's been great to have Isabella County engaged, and we'll look forward to continuing to build that relationship out here in the years ahead. So earlier, you said something that although CMURC may be new in Bay, Saginaw, and Midland counties, it's not new. You have a 20th year celebration coming up. Tell us about that.
We sure do. We on September 20th, we have our 20-year celebration. So we thought, why not celebrate? We've been around this long, and so it's time. So we're bringing back some food trucks. If some of you remember, we ran food trucks for about 6 years, and everyone loved it. So we're going to bring back live entertainment, food truck. We're having Food Truck Village and fun at the CMURC Mount Pleasant location. So we are, you can go to cmurc.com/celebration and sign up and join us on September 20th from starting at 6:00.
Oh, congratulations. That's an amazing accomplishment for CMURC. And I'm sure what's going to be a raucous evening celebrating those 20 years.
That's right.
So you have another event coming up here in Saginaw, the Saginaw Soup Pitch Competition on November 3rd. What is the Saginaw Soup Pitch Competition, and why am I suddenly hungry?
Right? Yeah. Well, think about everybody. When we talk about entrepreneurs, everybody instantly goes to Shark Tank. I mean, so what do you do? Like Shark Tank? Well, not exactly like Shark Tank, but we do have different competitions and things throughout the areas. So Saginaw Soup is a pitch competition. It'll be running. This will be the third time it's running. It actually is November 3rd. So entrepreneurs can pitch new business ideas in the Saginaw County, and they're able to take part in our programs that help bring an entrepreneur from idea to put together the structure and the foundation for a solid business. So even if it's just an idea, this is a good time to get it started and participate.
That's phenomenal. So during our news segments, we heard today that Delta College has made a new hire kind of in that diversity, equity, and inclusion realm. And I know that you guys are also working in that space with an inclusive entrepreneurship initiative. Can you talk about that for a second?
Absolutely. The reality around an entrepreneur and getting ideas started is, you first go to everybody says friends, family, and fools, right? Those are the people that'll make the first investments in you. But the reality is that some people might not have the friends, family, or fools to do that. And that doesn't mean they don't have a good idea. And it doesn't mean that they don't have the passion to bring their idea to the marketplace. Some of the best ideas come from all over the place. So we call it an initiative as we're creating awareness around the disparities on being able to bring capital into your business in the first startup phases. And so really making some dedicated efforts through our initiative to bring awareness around those pieces and to really try and make some moves in the right direction.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I think the biggest thing that listeners, after hearing from you during this half-hour segment, may be curious on is just how do they get involved with CMURC? How do they get engaged with the programs? How can they come and look at your facilities? What do you want our listeners to know about how they can become a part of the CMURC family?
Well, just how easy it is. So our website is www.cmurc.com. So you can go on our website and request a tour. You can also call our phone number at 989-202-6036. And that'll bring you to somebody. We'll give you a tour. We'll hear what it is you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish. And we'll see if there's anything we can do for you.
That's fantastic. And you have a dynamic team in place.
Absolutely.
About how many folks work at CMURC and who may they run into at these various facilities?
You never know who you're going to run into at the facilities, but no, we've got a great team ready to greet you, tour you around and tell you a little bit about the area and how to get connected.
That's great. And as we're finishing up here, if there's one more thing you would want us to know about CMURC and just maybe getting people a little bit more aware of exactly what you do in the community, or maybe something new that's coming up, what would that be?
It would just be to join us. I mean, it's all about people connecting with people to make some business happen. So join us. We've got Impact Days quarterly, which we have. You can join our co-working space. We've got Connect Me with Cocktails. So real great time to just mix and mingle, and we're open for the community.
Well, if that doesn't sell people, that program, I don't know what will. So Erin Strang, President and CEO of CMU Research Corporation, thank you for joining me today. And more importantly, thank you for really embracing the Great Lakes Bay region and regionalism. It was great having you on today.
Thank you for having me.
And with that, we're going to take one final break here on the Art Lewis Show.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well-thought-out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Want to pay less for gas? Stop at any one of your local 26 Forward Shell convenience stores where you'll save at least 5 cents a gallon on every fill-up with Shell Fuel Rewards. Earn even more cents off when you make purchases in-store on some of your favorite snacks and drinks. Stack the savings, and you can regularly save 10, 20, 30 cents or more off each gallon of gas. That's Fuel Rewards and your area Forward Shell convenience stores. And remember, when you want to pay less at the pump, go forward.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Blossom Spa and Boutique. You can get body contouring treatments for eliminating cellulite for only $275. Or you can get one cycle of cool sculpting for only $375. You can also get one spa facial for only $35. All of those deals are half off. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Good morning, Matt Felan here, and this is going to wrap up today's Art Lewis Show. It was a pleasure to fill in for Art. Congratulations again, Art, on your induction into the Michigan Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame. We're going to have Ann Williams up next in our newsroom. We're also going to get the CBS national and international reports. And then up next, Pat Johnston will be filling in on the Focus program. Again, Matt Felan signing off here on the Art Lewis Show. Everyone have a great week.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WS